And welcome to Chicks and Salsa, everyone. Thank you for joining us live. And to my right, I got Miss Chiefs Chick 87, Baby Cakes, Kari Johnson. What up, Kari? How's your week going,
Hey,
hun?
it's going. They had this weird thing called Monday that interrupted my weekend, but other than that, it's been great.
Those pesky Mondays, I'm just saying.
I mean, I deal with them because eventually there's a Friday.
Candy's like, there's a Friday. What's that? I work 7 days a week. And what's up, Miss Candy, working 7 days a week? How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing better than I was Sunday night. Let's put it that way.
And why are you so exhausted on Sunday night? It was pretty exciting.
We were on the losing end. If you can see the plaque behind me, Packers versus Lions. I am a house divided, and unfortunately, my husband has not let me forget what happened on Sunday night with the Lions kicking my Packers out of the playoffs.
Scott, that is being really mean, but the Lions didn't go to the playoffs either.
Correct.
I mean, Dan's comment was, if we're not going to playoffs, neither are the Packers. That's a good way to motivate your team. Let's not be dishonest about that.
And they finished better than us in the division. I mean, for record, and they went 5-1 in the division.
Wow.
So they actually did really well in our division. They beat the Bears twice, they beat us twice, and they beat the Vikings once. So they're on the right direction. I wish I could say the same about my Packers.
It was bittersweet watching Cobb and Rogers walk out. Like, I actually had a tear in my eye or something. Maybe it was just moisture in the air. I don't know. But my ears were like leaking a little bit there. And I'm like, did we watch the last of them walking out of the stadium?
Well, they're saying right now that Rodgers is out of all the sports, he is the most tenured with the same team on any level of any sport right now.
Really?
He's been with the Packers the whole time. Everybody else has jumped from one team to another team, and whether he comes back or not remains to be seen. Whether you like him or not, he has had a really good career. And to see him walk off like that, just like to see JJ Watt walk off. I mean, you really wish he had gotten. I really wish for JJ he had gotten a championship. I really do.
Absolutely. Side note, did you notice that when Roger's hair got shorter, he performed better? So I was wondering if that was his kryptonite, having long hair.
They said that he cut his hair like he did when he went for the Super Bowl run.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I know. I even asked that in another basically all guys sports chat. I'm like, so does his hair being long, looking like Nicolas Cage, cause him not to play well? Because the shorter his hair went, the better he was doing. But then he didn't win Sunday night, so that kind of deflated that whole theory.
Yeah, I mean, you never know, because he also has a extracurricular outside life that you never know with the women that he chooses. And it recently come out that he's dating actually a 26-year-old of the Milwaukee Bucks daughter, owner of the Milwaukee Bucks, the daughter. So we'll see what happens with that.
Is he going to do what Devin Funchess is doing and apply and try out for the NBA? Because apparently there's an NFL combine to go into the NBA.
I can't
read about this the other day. Don't know much, just read the highlight. I'm not gonna lie, but I was like, all right, fun, I see you.
That's pretty funny.
That being said, we do have a little bit of breaking news, and that and I will say this, I'm sorry, I went a little off track there. I do feel like what the Raiders did to Derek Carr was jacked up, and I think that's because you have a new head coach there that maybe shouldn't be there, but what do I know? Sorry, Phil, I love you. But I think they should have kept their interim head coach that took over after Gruden last year. Nicole, David, I need y'all to pay attention to the Raiders and don't let that happen to the Panthers. Please and thank you. But so what was really sad to me, and I kind of hope he joins the lawsuit. Is Levy Smith was fired yesterday, or on Monday, on the 8th, on Sunday.
Yeah, he was fired before 10 o'clock our time, Central Standard Time.
Yeah, he was let go after the game immediately, pretty much, and that's jacked up. That being said, the Cardinals finally let go of Cliff Kingsbury. Like, they pretty much wasted so many careers in Arizona not getting rid of him before. I'm sorry. Kingsbury can't close. Obviously, our guy Jordan Long got a belated Christmas gift, and that the Broncos fired Nathaniel Hackett on December 26th. The Colts fired Frank Reich on November 7th. I actually have an interesting take here, too. And we won our Super Bowl. We won our Super Bowl, as our friend of the show and friend in Perez said, Dom Drubus, when the Panthers fired Matthew Rule back in October. That was a very happy day for me. And I'm glad my brother didn't have TikTok because y'all would have seen him doing a fat girl dance video of me excitedly dancing around the house. That being said, today it just came out in the last hour that my biggest complaint ever with Ron Rivera is he's a very loyal man. It's a great thing, and it also bites you in the butt. He fired Scott Turner today, and from the Washington Commanders, and I never thought he would do that. So let's see where we go from there.
I have a feeling he's in a hot seat.
Everything he got. I don't think he is.
Well, I mean, just
he might be.
The whole situation. They may not. We may not hear about that until after the team is sold. But I feel like that whole situation is.
Coach, yeah.
It's very volatile, and I would not want to. Two teams I would not want to be the head coach of would be the Commanders and the Texans.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on that. And oh my God, you can have him. Sean Payton is not a nice man. You can have him. I do not want him anywhere near my Panthers. He's yours, Jordan. I give him to you.
So you want Harbaugh, Jen?
No.
I'm just...
Please, Jordan. Who is it tonight that are disagreeing on this? I want Wilkes. Yeah. I mean, how many times have we seen an NFL player and an entire 53 men come out and say, keep this man as our coach? Like, it doesn't happen. It really doesn't happen that often. And that's happening here. And some people get a little upset. My husband put a poll on Reddit last night and just said, Wilkes, native charlatan, not someone other than Wilkes, native charlatan, and then same thing, but non-native charlatan, right? And people got mad at him for putting that on Reddit and saying it's the Carolina Panthers, not the Charlotte Panthers. Well, yeah, but Steve Wilkes is actually a Charlotte guy. He understands the culture. He knows the culture. Me too, Rick. Me too. I agree with you 100%, mi amigo. But I think it's going to be a very interesting offseason. There's a lot of hot takes going on. I think Charlotte has a lot going on sports-wise. But do y'all have any other takes on that?
I think that we're going to see a lot of things happen in the offseason. I think that we will not see Peyton go to the Cowboys because I think Sean wants to be able to run his own team. I don't think you're going to see that ever underneath as long as Jerry Jones is alive. That's my biggest one. I do want to give a shout out to the Chiefs, as we had 10 years ago, 2 weeks ago, I think it was, that the Eagles fired Andy Reid, and 10 years ago before, when on Saturday, so I think it was Thursday or Friday, he had been a Chief for 10 years now. So we really appreciate the fact that they decided they didn't want him.
Yeah, I really wish we had picked him up. that being said, let's actually transition to another sport. Take it away, Candy, because we have LeBron James breaking a couple of records.
We are talking about LeBron James, and he is about to set one of the NBA's most hallowed records. It's likely to fall. It's the all-time points record set by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He set the bar at 38,387 points. He did it in 1,560 games. LeBron James is currently 422 points behind Kareem. He's at 37,965, and he's done it in 1,397 games. So at least 150 less games at this point. They are projecting, if he stays on his projected pace, that he gets 27.2 points a game and take 16 more games, which would put him breaking it on February 9th versus my Milwaukee Bucks.
Let's go, Bucks. Stop them. Come on, Giannis. Have an actual game. And Giannis, I'm mad at you. What the heck? You let us win? You can't tank for Victor, Giannis. The Hornets deserve it. And I'm saying that because Megan's not in here and she can't virtually beat me up.
That's funny.
And Rick, I agree with you. Sorry.
No, I mean, you have to give LeBron credit. Whether you like him or not, he has outlasted how many people in the NBA? He is about to break the biggest record of the NBA that there is out there. Whether you like the fact that he took his talents to South Beach and had to, publicize that or not. He's still playing. He's how old? He's been there for a long time, with the different teams. What do you guys think?
Well, the one thing you have to admire about the man is he has stuck with whether or not you like how he's bounced around or not. He is he's in his 30s. Is it 30s or 40s anywhere? Or reaching 40. He has built an empire both on and off the court. So, I mean, you don't have to like him. He's done very well for himself.
Yep.
And you have to respect that. I mean, I'm not a huge basketball player, follower and stuff, but still, you have to respect the man because he has done so well. And then, coming from an era where that was not, not many did. Look at the ones that didn't get the empire built that were talents in the 80s and 90s. So, you have to applaud that.
So here's my thing. LeBron James disappoints me because I actually think he could have broken Kareem's record a while ago, but he gives up on his teams too fast, during the middle of a game. I don't have an issue with him changing teams, okay? I really don't. You've got to do that growth and development. We all change jobs. We all get promotions. It happens. It makes sense, right? LeBron James is easily more naturally gifted basketball player than Michael Jordan. But Michael Jordan has the dedication and the drive and the competitive nature that LeBron doesn't have. So that's why I don't think, and LeBron has a competitive nature, but when I hear people talking about it, LeBron hasn't won what he has amassed, what he has done, especially philanthropically, is to be applauded. And I'm not just saying that. I just think LeBron, as a former athlete, to me, if I gave up as much as LeBron did, I would have never stuck it out. So that's why it just is a little disheartening to me. I don't know if it's because LeBron went straight from high school into the league and MJ had Dean Smith for 3-4 years. Because without a doubt, Dean Smith, best basketball coach in history, even if it's not in wins, still to this day, one of the most respected basketball coaches of all time. I don't know if that played a part in it or what, or if it's just something that's innately in you. but I applaud that LeBron is breaking a record. Records are meant to be broken.
Mhm.
And I think that's amazing for him and his family, and what he chooses to do with this is awesome. And I also thought it was really sweet what his next career goal is. And I'll let one of you two ladies say that, because I thought it was really sweet.
Well, Miss Candy, since you told us prior to the live, go ahead and you be the one that gets to share that little nugget.
So his son plays basketball, and his goal is for the two of them to play with each other, at least one game. Whether it be more than that, we will wait to find out. But he wants to play with his son.
Now, isn't his son a senior in high school right now?
I believe so. Let me do a little more research on that. I believe so. Let's see. It says he's 38. His son will turn 19 on October. Let's see. But he won't be
18 on the 6th.
Right, but he won't be eligible to play until the 2024 season. So LeBron's going to have to play a little bit longer in order to make that come true.
Now, do you think after LeBron gets his goal, and honestly, I wouldn't fault him for this, given his age, how hard he has worked, because he has worked hard. I'm not shortchanging that whatsoever. But do you think he'll kind of try to take a little bit of a backseat, but still be a leader, in the locker room, and just not play as much so he can somewhat preserve his body?
I don't know. I think it depends on what team and what the people the teammates he has around him. Because I think if he's smart, if he realizes that he's better than them, he's going to continue. But if he realizes you have a better chance with somebody else, I would think as a leader, that you want to go with your best players, and you want to admit if you're not it, that you might take a lesser role.
Right.
So if he really wants to do it and he really wants to play with them, I think you're going to have to, because he's going to, let's face it, that's 2 years yet. He's 38 now. He's going to be 40 at that point.
Right. Exactly.
I don't know about you, but at 40, I wasn't jumping and making running up and down the courts as quickly as, it's one thing we talk about Brady and them who are in their 40s and playing, but they play a sport that he doesn't run a lot. Yes, he's in a pocket and he passes, and it's spurts of, a lot of movement. Whereas basketball is very physical, constantly running. You got to be in really, really good condition. And a shoot, and you're hitting and you're banging up against your bodies takes a bruising. I mean,
yeah, you're right.
After watching soccer and basketball, but soccer being the most intensive sport to play, basketball comes in right after that, because you don't get to go to the sideline while your defense is on the line, and you're not waiting for three people to get out in an inning. You've got time to kind of take a breath and get refreshed and such.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball's intense.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, there is more longevity in basketball players than in football. But you're right, Candy. There's more longevity in quarterbacks than any other position on the field,
except for kickers, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. But you know what? That's the long game. If I have a son, then I'm going to teach my kid how to kick and either be the kicker or a long snapper, because you're still going to get paid. You're still going to get paid well. Mm-hmm. You can still have all these accolades, and you're pretty safe.
Yeah, for them to be protected. Don't rough the kicker.
Exactly.
You're get a penalty.
So, as everybody knows, we kind of like to end everything on a positive note. So I kind of had to fight for this one a little bit, but TCU got their butts beat. No questions about it. But what's good about TCU going to the game, I'm personally glad the high school team, Alabama didn't go. I know that's going to raise a lot of controversy, but I'm glad they needed to, eat some humble pie. I love the fact that TCU did go. Coach Dykes is only the second coach to ever take a team with a losing record this season before to a national championship. I believe the other, and I may be wrong on this, the other game was in 2013. And I was lucky enough to be on a Zoom call with Kirk or Herbstreit the other day. And it was asked of him, can he speak to the fact that TCU is the first Texas team, which is amazing in itself. And I didn't know that. But to make it to the national championship. And he said that the culture, chemistry, and the belief are what matters. And that's what TCU is showing us. And you know what? That's true. And Sonny Dykes has been a game changer for TCU. No, he didn't even have to sell his house or anything. He just had to change direction on the interstate on which way he went to work in the morning. But because he came from SMU. But this was a great Cinderella story. Do I expect them to be the next Gonzaga? And everybody's saying, oh, they're going to be the national champions.
I think Jen froze there. She must be having technical difficulties.
Uh-oh. So I agree with Jen. I don't think that it's going to be that they're going to be making runs for multiple times into the championship. I do think it'll help their program grow. I do think they're going to be ultra competitive going forward because they do have that clout that they did make it to the national championship game. I feel very badly for those guys because they'd had kind of a Cinderella season, and to be trounced that largely on national TV had to be heart-wrenching for them. And I mean, I admire them for not walking off the field because that would have been a real big challenge. I would feel like that is you're like, I'm just going to give up. I mean, why keep trying? It's getting to be an insurmountable task at one point, at some point. Are you back, Jen?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can.
Okay. Sorry. What the heck was going on Sunday night last week? Okay. I'll try to stay online. Don't know what's going on. Sorry about that. But why don't we go ahead and close up the show? And Kari, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and the shows you're on?
3 Chicks in a Pod podcast. Obviously, Chicks and Salsa. You can find us on the web on our Facebook. We also are found on Twitter. I am at ChiefsChick87 on Twitter. I look forward to hearing any ideas of stories or things that you would like for us to bring out as a topic. We would love to hear from you.
And Miss Candy, if you don't mind telling everybody.
So my husband and I do have the SouthFloridaTribune.com. We have a website. It's www.southfloridatribune.com. We actually even posted Jen's first article on our website as well. We have lots of different writers. We have lots of different local, especially in the South Florida or Florida, because we even covered the Jags game. Go Jags. I mean, they did awesome against the Titans. I have to just give a little shout out because we were there. You can email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. At Tribune South is our Twitter handle. We are also on Facebook. And most importantly, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at southfloridatribune.com. We have multiple shows, pretty much Monday through Thursday. Every night of the week, we have a different show. Come check us out and subscribe. But of course, Sideline Sports, Chicks and Salsa, 3 Chicks in a Pod. You can't miss them. Tuesday nights, 7:30. Be here, be square.
Bingo.
And you can find me on almost any Sideline Sports show, it feels like. But I split producing duties with Denzel Snipes with Basketball Bros on Sundays. If you're into old school basketball, tune in this week. Scott Morgan Roth, Candy's better, or No, Candy's the better half there.
Her bitter half. I mean,
I said Candy's the better half.
Good catch.
They is bringing on a guest, so tune in to Basketballs on Sunday at 7:30 Eastern time. You can also find me on Monday nights when we kick it off again, which should be soon, the NBA Carousel, hosted by Megan Price. And if you're in the Texas area, you can find her on 806 Sports as well. You can also get me on Chicks and Salsa, 3 Chicks in a Pod, Confidential when that season kicks off again. On Pundit's Pundit. Where else? Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel during the season. The season wrapped up last Thursday, though. That was a little bittersweet. And on occasion at Inside the Pigskin. And I should be there again. And then also on the Step Off, which again is Megan Price's baby. And I think that's it. Oh, and you guys will be seeing me live from Radio Row Super Bowl week.
so I do want to pause just a moment because we have someone that was in the press box for when the Jags won, and she has been quietly holding that back from our viewers. Or she's just not going to boast. I'm boasting for her.
Yep, and we're gonna put her picture up on the page on the Facebook page too, behind the podium, because I may or may not have a picture of that in my phone.
You probably got it before I even got it. Wait a minute.
Do I need to text it to you?
It's kind of funny.
I mean, you can always steal his phone, Candy.
I know. We were there on Saturday. We're hoping to be there again, possibly this Saturday. We're waiting to hear if we get. But the exciting news is we just heard today that we're gonna be covering, and I know you probably don't know this, IMSA, which is endurance racing in automobiles. And we're going to be up at Daytona 500 covering the Rolex 24, which means they do 24 hours continuous racing around the track. So they have teams that they pass it, they stop and the driver gets out and a new driver goes in that same car and they go around. So Scott and I are going to we got credentialed for that, and we're hoping to do the Daytona 500. Hoping.
Oh, exciting.
Exactly. So stay tuned.
That'll be fun. Can you sneak me in?
Ooh, maybe we'll try.
Do a tag team. Here's your 24. Here's your 2-hour shift.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Make your husband sleep that weekend, by the way.
But I don't know how you can do that. If you're covering a race that's going on for 24 hours straight, when do you sleep? You've
got to sleep. You've got to sleep. You can't do it.
It'll be interesting.
You can't not do it. I'm gonna buy you and Scott a trailer, though. I swear, y'all need
Don't challenge my husband, though.
Right.
He might just take you up. So
no. Photograph. I'm putting this up on 3 Chicks page. Jags game. Okay. You are now embarrassed and on 3 Chicks page, Miss Candy.
All right. I made it to the 3 Chicks page. All right.
And all right, guys, if y'all have any suggestions on what you want to hear us go over, let us know. Everybody knows that Damar's GoFundMe has exceeded $8 million. I believe it's inching closer to 9 million, which is amazing. And as I don't know who said this. Hee hee ha ha.
Oh, is that Megan that she's commenting because she shows up as Facebook user?
Oh, maybe it is. But if y'all have any suggestions, send any one of us a message on Facebook or put it on the 3 Chicks in a Pod page. And we will see you guys in 7 days. Talk to you later.
Have a great
it's not Megan.